The last presentation for this set is yet again a little bit of a direction change, and we're going to hear Phil, and he told me how to say his name and I forgot, Schwollert, yeah? Phil Schwollert, and he's going to talk to us about what color is your jig. Phil is president and CFO, that stands for Chief Fishing Officer, at Flame Communication LLC, and he helps his clients set the hook by first helping them get a bite. Here's Phil.
I'm going to talk to you later about putting me on after the scary smart guy. Alright, I've been fishing since I was a young boy. And you need to know, though, for those of you that know me, something happens to me when I put on my boots and my cowboy hat. So, bear with me. And I've been fishing since I was a young boy, and as a young boy I learned rule number one, and fishing is about catching fish. That's all it's about. If it ever turns into anything other than that, you're not fishing. And I learned that on the banks of the creeks in North Texas. By the way, I'm from Texas. You might not have been able to tell that. But I grew up in Texas, and my daddy taught us rule number one, that fishing was about fish. And we learned that on the banks of creeks. And by the way, you're going to see all kinds of pictures of kids that get it. Kids that get fishing is about catching fish, alright? That's all you're going to see, because that's the main message, so I hope you go away with that message. Did I mention fishing is about catching fish? Alright, I learned it on the banks of all kinds of creeks, because in the spring of the year, when the rains started in North Texas, man, the creeks start rising, and out of the lakes come all kinds of sandbags. Hundreds and thousands of them. The creeks are just swollen with sandbags. And you think you can just go down there with just about anything, drop it in the water and start catching fish, but you can't. If you don't throw the right color jig, you ain't catching fish. My brothers and I learned this. I got three brothers. My daddy was a preacher, and he taught us how to fish. We'd go down to the creek. All three of my brothers and I, we'd all have different colored jigs. We'd get it all amongst all the fishermen and fisherwomen, start throwing our jigs, and we learned really quick that fishing was about what the fish want. Wasn't about what we want. Wasn't about what we had in our tackle box. Wasn't about the color we liked the best. Wasn't about what was cheapest at Walmart. It was about what the fish wanted. Right? Fishing's about catching fish. The only way you catch a fish is to get a bite. The only way you get a bite is to throw in front of their nose what they're looking for. They don't care what you like. Now, it ain't about the rod and reel. It ain't about how nice your truck is that you drove down to the creek in. It ain't about any of that. It's about what the fish want, and they get to decide. Now, it's a funny thing, as boys get older, and women too, they start forgetting that. They start worrying about their rods and reels and their boats and their pickup trucks and other such things, coolers, how much beverage they got for the day of fishing. They start forgetting about what color jig they're going to fish with or how they're going to figure it out. You don't catch fish if you're not throwing the right color jig. So it's all about the color of your jig. Now listen, we've got these days all kind of ways to go fishing. We're all fishing, right? I got a slide coming up. I don't remember when it's coming, but it says we're all fishing. So that's where I'm going. And we're all fishing for something. Some of you guys are fishing for dates. Some of you guys are fishing for a new job. Some of you are fishing for a new lifestyle. Some of you are fishing for people to read your page on Twitter. Some of you are fishing for new friends on Facebook. I just got an invitation today for some other kind of social media site. Man, it's everywhere. People are all kind of worried about, how am I going to do my fishing? Am I using Facebook? Is my website cool? Do I got really cool graphics on my website? We're worrying about all kinds of things except what color's our jig. We have forgotten to think about what it is the people we're trying to talk to need to hear so they'll pay attention to us. And until they do that, we won't get them to bite. And until they bite, we won't hook them. And until we hook them, we don't get to reel them in. And when you reel them in is when you have the opportunity to really talk to them about what you're up to. So we're all fishing for something. And as soon as we forget that, we start spending more and more and more time worrying about everything besides what color the jig is. Now, as a boy who grew up in the South, I get continually reminded. When I go home, my brothers all want to go fishing. The first thing we need to think about, what color's our jig? So the question I have for you tonight is, are you really fishing? Because if you're not worried about the color of your jig, my question is, are you really fishing or are you doing something else? Are you on a pleasure trip? Or are you on some other kind of trip? Because it's all driven by the color of your jig. And kids get that. Every one of these kids, they get it. They get it that when you go fishing, it's about the color of your jig. And that's all they're worried about. When they sit down to fish, all they want to know is what are they biting on and how do I need to throw it. They're not worried about, is the rod really cool? Do they have a really cool reel on their rod? Is their line really good? They just want to know what color jig do I need to throw. So my question from you is, if you're not really serious about figuring out the color of your jig, figuring out what the people you're trying to communicate really need to hear so that they'll listen, so that they'll bite, so that then you can set the hook and reel them in, I got to ask you, are you on a fishing trip? Or maybe on an ego trip? Good fishing to y'all, and God bless you. Thank you.